foggy. It's a little foggy. We're on the road, headed back from North Carolina back to the Eastern Shore. And started a little bit early because I know I've got some bad spots in there and I don't want to drop you out as soon as things start. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Lets people know that we're alive. Lets me know that this thing is actually doing something. Looks like somebody showed up here. We got vegan cookies. Good reviews. Good to see you, bro. Looks like you are first. What do we got popping in here? Got Bullseye Ben. Yo, yo, yo. What's going on, Broseph? What's going on? We'll give it a second for people to pop in. I wasn't supposed to do anything till 10 o'clock, but I wanted to knock it out because it looks like I'm driving into some weather too. Rose, good morning. Good morning. Double tap to like and subscribe. Oh, thank you. That's very perfect of you. Seriously, I think that's the way you did that is pretty freaking professional. Who we got here? Tom's in the house. Good to see you, bro. Good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. Tom Herter. Just let the room fill up a little bit. Also, now's the time to put subjects in the chat to get us started. Otherwise, I'll have to ask again later. If you could use use the all caps, it does help so I don't get unalived while I'm driving. Deanna, good morning. Good to see you. I'll turn that down. I can't believe this morning traffic is like crazy. It's almost 10 o'clock. And well, you don't see those very often. Wow. That's what was it? A tracker? Was it the Geo Tracker was the name of that stupid little car? I couldn't believe how dumb that thing looks. I haven't seen one of those in forever. Caps locks to chat, please. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Been listening to like Joe Rogan for the last 2 hours. He's always got some interesting stuff going on there. No dreams to report last night. I pretty much just slept all the way through the night. It's pretty freaking awesome. I need to speed up a little bit. I don't know what my latency is right now. I don't know what the delay is. So whatever we're doing, let's just do it. Has anyone ever been to Casabonita? Yes, Casabonita. Oh my God. Yeah, I went to Casabonita when I was a child. There in Denver, Colorado. Ian, good to see you. And it was exactly as they projected it to be in the South Park episode. There really was like a cliff diver, flags on your tables when you needed more chips and salsa. You know, it's exactly as they, I mean, as I remember it anyway. It's exactly as I remember it in South Park. And as I understand it, those guys actually, the guys who do South Park actually remade it. They went and bought it and then remade it. And apparently it was just like destroyed their budget. So let's see here. Tim Huther's put the number 1 up. We got 3. I can't read your 23. It's too much vibrating. Stupid road. Right. 33 matching. What is it? It's sliced cheese make American great. Banned sliced cheese. That's just silly, man. That's silly. Bullseye Ben says I went last weekend for a collab. QND Bonita was amazing. That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. I'm glad to see that because that was an icon in Denver for years. That was like, hey, we're going to Casabonita, you know. Tuck showed up. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. All right, guys. So we got about 18 people in here is what it says. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button. It does help draw more people in here. It helps the channel. It's free and it's good for me. We need subjects. So let's see. Tactical Muffin Top. Tactical Muffin Top. I'm noticing that I'm seeing a lot more things in the chat. It says said hi. Was there like a button that you push to do that? Because I'm seeing that over and over and over. And I know you're not a bot. and I thought maybe it was bots that were doing this. But is there like a button on the screen that you're using to do this, to make that set high, and then whatever that little squiggly thing is, I can't really see right now. I want to know. Bullseye says, blew up a dishwasher because I hate doing the dishes. Well, that's silly. Descenderida. Oh yes, it's a feature now. Oh, okay, good to go, bro. I appreciate you, because I asked that question yesterday and nobody could answer. I thought I was just getting filled up by a bunch of bots. Yes, it's all about a button to wave in a vertical line. Gotcha. Okay, now I know. Rose says, nothing wrong with sliced cheese. Not all can cut it. That's hilarious. Nice. Okay. Well, I appreciate you guys telling me all about that. That's I think that's actually a pretty cool feature to have. My screen is completely different than yours, so I have like tools on the side of my screen, like right here. But I like, all I know is that one is for like changing the camera and flipping it around and stuff like that. There is a high button. Love it. Okay, so you guys have put like no subjects. We talked about Casabonita. We talked about cheese. I don't know why you listen. I don't know the dilemma about the cheese. That's a little ridiculous. I mean, pre-sliced cheese. I mean, come on. I don't know if it gets any more American than that. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm supposed to like live off of block cheese. Where are we going? We're I just need to see your name. I can't I can't read it. It's Descenderita. I'm going to the eastern shore of Virginia. Stock water or purify it? Both. It's definite. You know, it's like I was like thinking about like trying to be able to get on like Joe Rogan's freaking podcast. And I'm sure there's like buttons to push to try to get on. But like, what would it's like, okay, so let's talk about water. Store it. Next. You know? It's like, what the hell would I really talk about? But yeah, no, definitely store water. And, you know, last night, so if you guys aren't members of the YouTube membership, you really should be. And here's why. Because last night for 2 freaking hours, we talked about, we have our own private Discord for the members only. And we talked for 2 hours in the live Discord. We're like, they're talking to me and I'm talking to them, and like I'm showing them stuff and they're showing me stuff, and like you turn your camera on, like, hey, look at my water purification system, or hey, look at this. Like last night, we were looking at freaking this aquaculture. You know, it's absolutely amazing. No, it wasn't aquaculture, it was hydroculture. I know, I feel like I'm saying that wrong. But anyway, he's like showing us, he's putting it together while we're talking, and so for like 2 hours, we just like BS'd about preparedness, like how to do certain things. You know, it was like a meeting of the minds, you know what I'm saying? And it's the only place where you can actually do that. So, you know, I think it's absolutely amazing, because I haven't heard of any other live streamers, YouTubers, collaborationists that are actually doing that, and I just think it's awesome. We do it once a week. We do it every Thursday. But anyway, so we were talking about one of the members had a lot of questions on like water storage and water catchment, and so we were like throwing ideas out on what to do, and then I started thinking, it's like, well, you know, if you have a limited space, if you have like, so one of the problems that this person had was they wanted to store water, but they didn't want like their neighbors like knowing they had this water storage capability, and they didn't want like them to call the eco police and stuff like that. And so I was thinking, you know what you could do? Because the problem with storing water has nothing to do with filtration. It has everything to do with algae not building up inside of it because of sunlight, right? So what you could literally do is there's a company out there, and yes, I'm an affiliate. There's probably a link someplace. I think it's just kind of like the water storage or water tank company, something like that. And you can buy these storage like the both barrels and different shapes, right? But I was thinking they fit perfectly. You could fit 2 of these puppies perfectly inside of one of those little yard sheds that you buy and put together. They're made out of plastic, and you slam it up against the side of your house, and it almost looks like it's part of your house, but it's got the doors that open, you know. And you could literally just like run a rain catchment system straight down into that puppy, and then like run it down the side, go in an L shape, and then you'd literally have this water. You would have like this entire like water closet that was outside, and not only would it be protected from freezing due to biomass, but you could also like insulate it, and no one would know it was there. They would just think it was like they would just think it's like a shed for your yard tools. You know what I'm saying? And then it's already right next to your house, so you could probably like run a line straight into your house from it, and then connect it up however you're going to do it, right? And then I'm going to put these back on. It's getting a little bright out here, but I'll take them off to look at the chat here shortly. And then you'd actually have like a water catchment system. You could actually put like water. You know, what I did was I used I had my water catchment plumbed for standard garden hoses, right? And you can buy garden hoses in the RV community that are designed for drinking water, so you don't have like the hose will not leach plastics into the water, right? Well, what else can you do? You can also buy these water filters that are designed for those hoses, and now you actually have like a water filtration system. Now, the only problem is that there are some times where, depending on your catchment system, your initial catch, which is normally like a roof or whatever, right? Maybe it's running through your gutters, whatever. Well, the water's not going to be super clean. And that filter is literally just to filter out particulates. It wouldn't filter out anything like the Giardia, you know, things like that. It's not going to kill any bugs. So you may have to like boil it once you get it into the house. But you would have a water catchment system in your backyard that looks like a tool shed, and no one would even know unless they said, "Hey, what's that thing going down the side into it? You know, why is your drain going into this thing right here?" You know, so things to think about. All right, I'm going to check the chat here real quick. Want to get the bathtub water bag? We have 3 potential I'm not answering that. We have 3 tubs, so 1 out of service is okay. Yeah, I mean, they're not bad storage devices, but it's like first thing is they're temporary. Second thing is they're situational. They do work 100%. I actually have a couple in boxes that I have not used since the last hurricane I had to wait out. You know, it's basically, okay, I use it as like a plus up. You know, and then when it's like, okay, great, you got 250 gallons of water sitting inside your well, no, honestly, I don't remember how much a tub holds, but you've got all this water sitting in your tub that you can pump out and use, and that's great, okay? And it's coming out of a sink, so it's got to have it's potable, all right? So you have this good water, and now what do we do with it? You know, and then there's the whole, like, in my case, I stopped using it because it's like, okay, the hurricane came and went. Now I've got to drain this bag to get my bathtub back. And then I've got to like let it dry out like 100%, like unbelievably, like there's no way there's any water in this thing. And then I've got to roll it up and then store it back in its box. And I mean, I could come up with different ways of storing it that are okay. But at what point does the bag like start to degrade? You know, like I said, initially for emergencies, it's a great tool to have. But after the emergency or after things subside, what next? What happens next? You know? So, hello, fellow human. What's up, Tim? Good to see you. Good to see you. Let's see. Garden hoses are awesome. Good morning. Oh, Pilgrims in the house. Good to see you, bro. And if I have not said hi to you guys, that's because I'm trying to stay alive right now. I'm technically just, I don't even know if I want to tell you where I am. I technically just entered that state that is north of North Carolina. So now you know that. All right, let's see. You're becoming less rotund. Says your name is Chuggle? That sounds like a rotund name. I've never been rotund. I was a Marine for years. It's that thing about staying in shape before you retire and then things don't happen. I am a little bigger than I'm supposed to be, but I've never been rotund. What if you put a recirculation pump in your storage tank? Moving water does not grow algae. Well, that's true, but that's cool. Don't get me wrong. But now we're talking about, you know, it's like points of friction, points of failure. So if you're depending on that recirculation pump, then you know what I'm saying. And okay, what are we making solar power? Well, what if the wires that you use for your solar power aren't really good outside, and it's all the wire you had, and it stops working? There's a lot of what ifs, you know what I'm saying? But it would work. It could absolutely work. You know the other thing too about water storage is it's like, so water storage will eventually equal water usage. So how are we getting the water from the storage container to the point of use? Okay. Is there an electric pump? Does the pump require, is it a battery powered pump? Is it a 110? Is it a 12 volt? Does it require solar? Solar would be the smartest. You know, get rid of that whole situation simply by elevating the water container, the water storage. You see what I'm saying? Is the actual weight or mass or displacement, should I say, of the water enough that it would actually push water into the house? You know, there's a lot of questions that have to be answered by stuff like that. So, you know, I was telling people last night, I used to have, I built this giant cradle right next to my house that had, I built it out of 9 4x4s and then lots of supports. And then you could take, I had 4 55-gallon black plastic pickle containers, and I put them in sideways, and then I piped I plumbed them all together, and then what my plan was to run them into the house. But that's how I learned about like using the hoses and using you know, the RV filters. So, but it's like, the reason I did that was because, and I had it hooked to the water catchment system on the side of the house, and the idea was to, you know, when you live in the middle of nowhere and the power goes out, then you don't have a well because you have a well pump, right? And so I was like, well, I'll set this up and we can still drink this water. We can use it for cooking, cleaning, whatever. But its primary use is to fill up the toilet that's on the other side of the wall. That way, regardless of what happens, I always have, you know, 200 gallons or 220 gallons of water that's elevated 6-7 feet in the air. You know what I'm saying? So that gravity is more than enough to push water into the back of a toilet. No problem. I had this whole plan. I was going to re-up it and all this other stuff. But then after over years, I'm like, well, what if I just solar powered my water pump and I never had to worry about this kind of crap ever again? You see what I'm saying? So, you know, it's kind of funny how all these things evolve. And we were talking about this last night for, like I said, a couple of hours. So if you're not a member of the members only, or if the members only Discord, if you're not a member of the YouTube membership, then you can't get into the Discord. And so I recommend you do that kind of stuff. There are other benefits as well. Let's see here. Let's see. Sure, whatever, dude. Whatever. Walk the line. Walk the line. Let's see here. Advocate. What do we got here? You love playing devil's advocate too much. Very true. Very true. I do, actually. You know, I always, it's part of the, you know, some of the analytical work that I used to do. That was my job, to find out how things break. You know, to think through, like, oh, I've got this great idea. The idea fairy came to me last night and told me we should be doing it this way. And it was my job to basically tell them that's a great idea, or no, it won't work because of this, this, and this. And then they would have to go back to the drawing board and try to find their way either around the problems that I just created, or to come up with a newer idea. It's kind of a little bit of an idea factory that I worked in. You can have fake, what do we got here? Downspouts, and have a hose inside downspouts to put water inside the watershed. Yeah, you can do all that stuff. Guys, do me a favor. I'm trying to read your comments. If you could just hold down that caps button, that would be hold down, or just set it on your phone to all caps. You know, double tap the up until it turns blue. You would be helping me greatly. You would be helping me greatly, especially since I'm starting to get into more town now. I'm coming out of the suburban highways, the rural highways. I'm coming out of those right now, and it's starting to. It's going to start getting a little thicker. I'm going to have to pay more attention to the road. What's another subject we could talk about, guys? What's another subject we can talk about that will keep me yammering on for like 20 minutes? So I get through. Once I hit this this highway up here, it's probably 20-25 minutes to Virginia Beach, and then once I get on the bridge, then it's like whatever's. Ugh. Earth flat with 3 suns. Not. I can't read your name because it's too small. What is the name of that bridge? That is the. Shit. Just ask me a harder question right now. I have Monitor Merrimack in my head, but that is not right. It's something Bridge Tunnel. Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel, that's what it is. It goes up and down. Earth flat with 3 suns. Nah, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think you're going to find a lot of flat earthers in here. Not me, baby. Not me, baby. That's cute. Yeah, I don't think you're going to find too many flat earthers in here. It's for the Navy boats. Well, no, well, the bridge itself is too low. The bridge is like only 20-30 feet in the air, but there's 2 giant tunnels that you have to drive through, and they run aircraft carriers across that thing. No problem. Dehydration versus freeze dryer. Yeah. That one's... So, I guess the key thing that you have to remember, that it's all about how long you want that food to be shelf stable, right? So, you know, obviously the freeze dryer is going to make the food shelf stable for basically 20 years, or if not more, if it's stored correctly, right? Whereas the dehydrator is not going, it's only going to make that food shelf stable for about a year at the most. It's normally 6 months. Man, it got bright real quick. So I think that's the key thing. One of the things that I think about, because I do have a dehydrator, I do not have a freeze dryer. But one of the things is like, so these freeze dryers are expensive. And so what are you doing? I guess the thing is like, what's the task? Make the tool match the task. So if your job is to create shelf-stable 20-year food, then you want the freeze dryer, okay? And then how often are you going to use it? How often are, in your preps, in your like your in your daily preps, whatever your prepping schedule is, you know, it's like, you know, every day I want to freeze dry, you know, 7 racks of food, whatever it may be, right? So you have to determine like what size that you want. I know they come in small, medium, and large, but and they can run for like, I want to say like 16 hours or something. It's pretty crazy. But the goal is to create this food source that is shelf stable for years. You know, now if you're doing like small projects here and here, like every Monday I'm gonna freaking like go to the market, or every like Saturday, right? I'm gonna go to the market and I'm gonna find a bunch of, you know, whatevers. It could be beef, I mean anything, right? And I'm gonna just do these 5 small racks that are on my freeze dryer, right? But I'm going to do that every single week, and then basically you end up with like this one medium size bag full of freeze dried whatevers every week, if that's your goal. You know, if you want to go even further, obviously buy the bigger ones. But it's like, and even these things are, even the small ones are like anywhere from $1,800 to you know, $2,200. I mean, they come with left lane closed ahead, great. They come with financing now, because there is a need for them in the economy, and people want them, you know. You know, not everybody can afford them. So, I mean, it is what it is. You either want one and have the means to get one, or you want one and don't have the means to get one. But I don't think that the solution is, I can't afford a freeze dryer, so I'm going to buy a dehydrator. I don't think that's the solution, okay? Because, you know, I can buy canned goods that will last years on end that cost me pennies on the dollar, okay, to put on my shelf. You see what I'm saying? So it's not, I don't think that one can be like what I'm going to be using until I can afford a freeze dryer, or until I can get the financing for a freeze dryer. You see what I'm saying? Make the tool match the task. Try not to get unalived over here. This traffic is backing up really quick. Faster than normal, actually. Give me 1 second, guys. You should know, like right now, it's going to be even harder for me to to be distracted by my phone. It's going to be even harder right now for probably the next 10 or 15 minutes. I tried to stretch out that question as long as I could, but just ran out of juice on it. These people are they're starting to, I'm on the on-ramp. And getting on this is like, you just got to like floor it, so you don't get ran over. Okay, so I see there's a big question in there. I don't know if I'll be able to read that, but I'm going to try. Let me Let me get into the flow of traffic here, set the cruise control. Hope we don't have any stupid people like this guy who just popped right in front of me. I don't know why he did that. All right, let's see here. You can, oh shit, I can't read that. You can just as much with a dehydrator and freeze dry or not as necessity. I strongly disagree. Well, that's okay. I think opinions are great. All I know is that freeze-dried food lasts years longer than dehydrated food does. Also, canning, years of shelf life, depends on proper storage. Yeah, everything depends on proper storage, guys. Listen, it's like, so you could do everything right, Mylar bags, oxygen absorbers, you do everything right. But if you like, oh man, well, when we moved, we used to have this great place in the house where we kept all this stuff, and we don't have that anymore, and so it had to sit out in this, it had to sit out in the garage, you know. And oh, by the way, I live in West Texas, and it all got subjected to like 120 degree heat, you know. Then the food's not going to last as long. It's just that easy. It doesn't matter how much you it doesn't matter if it's in a can. It doesn't matter if it's freeze dried or processed or dehydrated. It doesn't matter. You know, when you don't store correctly in optimal conditions, you get less than optimal results. It's just that easy. You know, dehydration easily done at cost. That's true. It is. Dehydrators are cheap. You know, the dehydrator that I have, it's a 4-rack dehydrator, and it's a deep well dehydrator, so I can put a lot of food in it. You know, and it only cost, so I think I paid like $125 for it on Amazon. Works great. You can set the temperatures on it digitally. It's got a digital timer on it. I mean, it's got all the stuffs. So dehydrators are not bad. Don't get me wrong, but you know, it's like, once again, the tool should match the task. You know, for instance, like if I was making like pemmican, you know, I have to dehydrate the meat, right? There you go. Can dehydrate with solar outside in a vehicle with screening. That's true. Okay, you guys are writing these paragraphs that I cannot read right now. Writing paragraphs and you're not using caps. But well, one thing you can do for me right now, it looks like there's 18 people in here with 13 thumbs up. If you haven't hit that thumbs up yet, please do so now. Please do it now. Who's saying good morning to me? Looks like Debbie's here. Good to see you, Debbie. Looking Mustang. I think that's a Mach. That's a pretty nice looking car. LP using rivals. FIFO, then dehydrator is more than adequate always. Gotcha, Cindy. Gotcha. All right, we need a subject, guys. Next subject, please. Put it in the chat. Or like tap on the screen. Do something. Let's draw some people in here. Because we had like 26 people in here a minute ago, but YouTube numbers are always fickle. It's like YouTube numbers, that like viewer count. It reminds me of like a kid, you know, like counting 23, 17, 14, 36. FIFO, first in, first out. Correct. Elon Musk steps away. I think it's a good idea. I think he's got enough on his plate. You know, it's. I also think he has a responsibility to his shareholders, because you know the stock did take some pretty significant punches. But if you look at their stocks year to year, they always do that. Whenever something weird happens, the stock goes down. Everybody's like, "Oh, it's the end of the company," blah blah blah, and then like a month later, it goes through the roof. You know, but I think that it's good that he stepped aside. I also don't think I don't really read anything into. I think he had some statements where he said he didn't like the big beautiful bill. You know, I mean, he's looking at it strictly from, he's an engineer, so he's going to look at everything from the perspective of an engineer, you know. With engineers, it's either over-engineered or it's under-engineered. It's just that easy. You know what I'm saying? They're looking at it from the a very, very focused perspective. Would I like to see less spending in the bill? Yeah, I would. But I also think that we've got issues with the CBO and the CBO is just, historically the CBO is, and I'm kind of going off in the left field here for a split second, but historically CBO's numbers have always been wrong. Whenever they mark a bill and tell you how much it's going to cost, it's always wrong every single time. They pass the bill, and then like in 2 months they find out that everything they said was completely wrong. Honestly, I don't even know why. I think that Doge needs to do a deep dive on the Congressional Budget Office and find out why they're so screwed up. But I think it's good that Elon has he did his 139 days as a special government employee. I'm sure that he is on many people in his cabinet's speed dial. Okay, but I think his time. He's already said that he's done spending money on politics. He said he spent enough, and I think that his. Right, fine, come over, dickhead. Jesus, excuse me. Some guy's waited. The guy who designed these on and off ramps here in the Virginia Beach area, down the 264 corridor, he's a frickin' moron. When you find him, punch him in the face for me. So dangerously stupid. But I still love Elon. I still think he's great, man. You know, the guy's running, 5 of the biggest companies on the planet, making the biggest technological moves in basically since probably the biggest in the world. He's catching skyscrapers, the last SpaceX thing didn't go so well, but it was also they literally were stretching the technology on this mission to make things break. So it would have been nice to see things going, and everybody keeps forgetting that this is a giant engineering experiment designed to break things. So I think, what was it like? He had like 28 or 32 launches before they got the Falcon system 100%. They were just like blowing them up, like let's go make another one. That one blew up, So it's interesting. Let's see here. Never seen a safe exit or entrance system. Well, the big clover leaves like they have out west, like in California, they're pretty good. You know what I'm saying? You've actually got like the on and off ramp areas, things like that. But they built these clover leaves over here in Virginia, and it's like, you're on. And the space for you to get on is shared with the space that people use to get off. So it's like you can't just change lanes and get off the highway. You got to like avoid oncoming traffic and getting sideswiped and trash like that. It's pretty insane. All right, that was nicely timed. Okay, I like that. Good. All right. Okay, so if you guys put something in the chat, I missed it. I am coming up to a stoplight. I'm now physically in Virginia Beach right now. All right, I'm gonna hit this light, then I'm gonna do some scrolling real quick. Come to a complete stop. Scrolling. Mill surplus backups. What are you talking about, Tuck? Miko says, hey, Miko, good to see you. There's a difference between the bill it's going to the American people. It's not going to DEI or illegal. Yeah, that's absolutely true. What are you saying, Rose? Dad laid his rig over on Cloverleaf, not designed right. Yeah, exactly. Surplus backpacks. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, that's cool. I wouldn't mind getting my hand on one of the marine rigs. Those are actually pretty cool rigs. You know, and it's funny too because a lot of the military backpacks are not like one piece; they're multiple pieces all strapped together, right? The Army, when they built out their jump, it's like their backpack is designed for airborne units. They just give it to everybody. There's like an add-on if you're part of an airborne unit. So everything is like strapped to this frame. Well, they actually chose the frame that the Marine Corps used at the time. That's actually my bug out bag now. What do we got here? Ruby Bell, good to see you. Don't recognize you. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. What do we got here? I just wanted you to know, my husband, you know him, is Light Raider. What? What? Oh my God. Ruby, do you need anything? Oh my God. I don't even know what to say. That's never happened before. I mean, I've lost people before, but never on YouTube. But Ruby Bell, I do appreciate you telling me. He was a supporter of the channel. I actually met him. Honestly, I don't remember much about the prepper camp that I did meet him at, other than I met him. And if I met you there, wow. I don't even know what to say, guys. Sorry about that, but he enjoyed your channel and meeting. Well, no, I appreciate you, Ruby, and here's why. We've lost members before, and what you did is actually a good thing. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to hang out or anything. I'm just telling you, a quick story. There was a friend of ours that was in Florida, and he was an avid follower and supporter of the channel. He was there for years, and then he just disappeared. He stopped coming to members' events and talking to us online. He just kind of just disappeared. And myself and another one of the members actually had to do detective work, and we had found out that he had passed away and had no family whatsoever. We just didn't know, I think this is sad, but I think it's good to know what happened. You know what I'm saying? Not like what happened, but to know, to be in the know, basically. Okay. Well, if you need anything, you reach out to me on, you can probably find me on, I check my comments all the time, and I'm not so big that I can't read them, that's for sure. But if you need anything, you reach out and you let me know, and we'll see what we can do to help, because I've helped people in the past before. You know, we had one of the members' husband, you know, got into a really bad mini bike accident, and basically his top of his head got taken off, but he was still alive, and they couldn't pay the bills, so we were actually like raised some money to help him. You know, if you need any help with like burial or anything that I can do that's, you know, within reason. Obviously I'm not a millionaire and we don't live near each other. You make sure that you reach out and let me know, okay? Because he was a long time follower. He followed me all the way over here from TikTok years ago, and then we met that day in prepper camp. Wow. Oof. Rose says, yes, we noticed that he wasn't with us last night. Yeah, he's almost always here. Come on, truck. I'm stuck behind a semi-truck right now. Honestly, guys, after that, I don't even know what to say, because I feel like just talking about preparedness now will just kind of like belittle his memory. So you guys got me for 46 minutes today, which is not bad. I'm gonna go ahead and shut down. Do me a favor, guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit that like button as you go off the door. I want to thank you guys all for hanging out with me. Stay safe, have a great day, and I'll see you. Bye bye.